Lights on. It's time again. "20 years. We create dream cars, generation after generation. We push ourselves beyond all limits. We take victories and write history.
Three-time champion.
What a great championship.
Together, we go even further. Are you ready? Bring it home. It's dreams that have fueled us across 2 decades.
Sliding through that mark.
Brilliant racing.
It's dreams that have inspired us, empowered us, and driven us to the next level. This is Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, driven by dreams. 2023 starts now.
亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯2023年赛季的直播现场，我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammy。昨天晚上我们在马来西亚雪邦国际赛道目睹了一场非常精彩的夜间赛事，而今天我们将会迎来第2回合，也是本赛季的第1场日间赛事，想必拭目以待。Good morning and welcome back to Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023. I'm Sammy, your season host for the 20th series of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, and we are so ready for round 2 at Sepang International Circuit. Last night we have lots of actions on the track, and today there's plenty more to come. Let's hear it directly from our pit reporter, Steve Dawson.
Sammy, thank you. Dramatically different conditions compared to last night. Dark and under the lights yesterday. Today, bright sunshine, very, very hot. Not 100% blue sky, but there's an awful lot of it around. There's every chance we'll see a resumption of at least one of the 2 wonderful battles we enjoyed yesterday. At the front, Florian Latour and Lor Kai Lord provided some super entertainment yesterday. Fizzled out a little bit towards the end because Latour was deemed to have jump-started and he suffered a 10-second penalty. Well, he's on P1. Law is on P2, so every chance that we'll see that battle resume. The one we enjoyed in the middle of the pack, perhaps not. Bao Jinlong and Hong Shijie, tremendous side-to-side racing, so intense that they ended up in the gravel. Hong has been penalised for that, suffers a 10-place penalty. He's way back in P19. Bao Jinlong can cause an awful lot of trouble in P6, so there's a lot to look forward to today, Sammy.
I agree with you, Steve. So let's see if Florian Latour or Bao Jinlong will end up in our podium today. So with that, remember to follow the action on our official website at carreracupasia.com, and we'll pass it back to our commentators.
So almost perfect weather. Hello everybody, sorry. My name's John Hindorf and it's good to be back with you. Almost perfect weather then for our second race of the weekend and our second race of the season. Lovely to have your company wherever you are in the world. The drivers just getting their cars into the pit lane at the moment under the shade of the fantastic North and South grandstand, and in fact they've actually just been released to come round to the grid. One of the early cars coming through, Francis Chia for Trans China Automotive Racing in that highlighting yellow and black Bumblebee type of livery. Some cracking liveries this year, and on the Facebook pages you can see the spotters guide as well, so that you can follow along. And we've got live timing for you, livetiming.getraceresults.com, so you can follow and see the same information as we have here in the booth. Teams will be on the grid, making sure that they don't get the drivers too hot. Let's remind ourselves of what happened yesterday. So it was an evening race for the start of the season, and with a track that had been very wet indeed but was drying. There was a There was no consensus in whether it was wet tyres or slick racing tyres. From the lights going out, fantastic start by Lokelo. Goes down the outside at turn 1. Now that's normally, you'd say if you're on the outside, you're on the wrong side, but the right-hander turns to a left-hand turn, and he toughed it out all the way through until he could make it stick further out the lap. But the pole sitter Florian Latour wasn't having any of it, came straight back on that first lap and then went long in turn number 14 onto the back straight. Misjudged his braking at turn 15 and ended up in the gravel. Safety car and then a red flag, and on the resumption it was all go again. And the battles throughout the whole field as John Chen went a little bit long. One or two drivers on the wets were struggling by this point, and then that incident at the end of the race, which race control and the stewards had to get involved with. Ma Jinlong, who'd already been turned around on the first lap, hit again, and two cars ending up in the gravel, the 718 of Ma Jinlong in the 83 of Hong Shenzhe. At the front of the field, across the line, Latour took the race on the road, but a 10-second jump start penalty means he drops down to 4th in the final orders, and the first overall victory of the season goes to Toro and to Lokelo. He gets the first victory trophy and shake of the champagne.
Thank you, commentators. So joining me on the track this morning, we have the Vice President Marketing of Porsche China, Mr. Sky Chow. Good morning, Sky. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good.
All right. So I think we have lots of fun in these events, but I'm sure there's more to Porsche and motorsports than simply just having fun, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you may have known this year we are celebrating the 75th year of Porsche sports cars worldwide. And Porsche, the brand, is all about community, family, and also about the passion in pursuing dreams. And there are no better example than motorsport, than being on the racetrack in terms of pursuing dreams and sharing the passion. And by the way, it is a lot of fun about motorsport being on the track.
I'm very sure of that as well. So, Sky, we have had 20 years of Carrera Cup Asia now. So have this had any noticeable effect?
Well, actually, there are a lot. It is our dream to cultivate the sports car culture and build this sports car and motorsport community in the region. And we are very happy to see it's working. It's making very good progress. We have established the Sports Cup in China. We have seen very successful development of the Carrera Cup Asia. And this year in particular, we have 12 Porsche dealers participating in the Porsche Dealers Trophy. So I think it's fair to say this community and this motorsport culture is making very good progress.
We are very happy to hear that as well. So thank you again, Sky, for your time today. So with that, our second race is about to begin. I'll pass it back to our commentators, and I'll see you all after the race.
Still, the grid absolutely packed with teams and with supporters. It is an open grid policy here. The 75th anniversary livery on the safety car at the front of the field. Let's hope we don't see that. Today, it's 13 laps or 30 minutes of racing. And that front row again of the Maidong Racing and Toro Racing cars. Very, very tasty. 31 in the air, just a 15% chance of rain. Barely any wind to talk about, although the clouds are beginning to bubble up at this time of day, as you might expect. So 85% chance of staying dry. Barely a breath of wind at the moment. Now, we did see track temperatures over 50 Celsius earlier in the weekend. It's 39 now. That might get a bit hotter. And that means, again, there could be a little bit of time management required here in the latter stages of the race. The cars start pretty heavy on fuel, of course. And here's how they will line up with Freunatour and Lokelo on the first row. Chris van der Drift, Martin Reikinger, as they were yesterday for Team Shanghai and Porsche Holding. Then Nazim, Asman and Ma Jinlong Bao in 6th position will be looking to go forward from there, I think. Our AM leader, our AM pole sitter rather, Eric Kwong on 8th position. And So Bewang in 12th position for the number 12 car. For the number 2 car, excuse me. And if you are wondering where Hung Shizhe is for Team C and D, well, that incident yesterday was deemed his responsibility. He had responsibility for the 2 cars ending up in the gravel at the end. It spoiled, actually, a very good race, and he has been given a 10-place grid penalty. Sees him down in 19th with only the number 22 of Yang Rao, and who else is behind him? It'll be the number 5 with Wu Jiazin. Let's hear from Florian Latour at the front of the grid.
It is so hot here, but the real heat is on P1, where Florian Latour is sitting comfortably in his car. Florian, you were so quick yesterday, but it all went wrong right at the start. What actually happened on the starting grid?
Yeah, just moving a bit before the start, and then it cost me I think the hardest penalties with 10 seconds. But it's like this, and then we know we have the pace. Just we have to looking forward and then focus on the race of today.
You certainly did have tremendous pace, registered the fastest lap there towards the end. High hopes for today?
Yeah. I mean, as I say, we have to forget a bit yesterday. It couldn't have been. But, I mean, at the end with 10 seconds finish P4, it's still okay. And just looking for the race of today, and we know, as I say, we have the pace. We saw that in qualifying with the same conditions, so it should be all right.
Good luck today. Back to you guys.
There is the siren to let everyone know it is time to clear the grid. I'm trying to have a word with the other pole sitters as well. 3-minute board up at the front of the grid. Steve works his way back to our Pro-Am pole sitter, which is Bajin Long, 6th position outside of row 3 for Zhongtong Auto. And Am, by the way, is Eric Kwong in 8th position. So once again, our 3 pole sitters all within the top 10 of the grid, which is pretty impressive. Eric will not be happy with his run yesterday. He had wet tyres on and he was moving around a little bit.
P6 for Bao Jinlong, really quite far up the grid. Jinlong, just tell us your impression of what happened yesterday when you ended up in the gravel.
Yesterday I started very well. I jumped to the 3rd position, and in the first corner, Martin Ragnar hit me and spin and dropped down to the more than 10 position, and then I overtake, and then I go to the P6, and at the last lap, unlucky, somebody hit me again.
There's 2 cars between you and Eric Zhang, so good opportunity to create some space today?
Yes, sure.
All right, good.
My start is very good.
Good luck. Drive safely, won't you?
Thank you.
Okay, back to you guys.
Yeah, that's it was a fraught race from Bao yesterday. It was Martin Ragginger, wasn't it, who got into him at turn 14 on the first lap, and he fought all his way back and looked like he was on for a really good finish before another rather ambitious manoeuvre by Hung Shizhe, which has cost Hung 10 places on the grid. Eric Kwong was struggling with those wet tyres yesterday. It does mean he's got a brand new set of Michelins today. Let's hear from him on pole position for Am. Well, it looks like actually we're going to have to clear the grid before speaking to Eric, but he should have a little bit of a tyre advantage today. Remember, tyres are not a resource that you can just throw at the car. So the final moments before rolling off. green light for the formation lap for the second race of the year as the front 6 engines are revved. Clutches have slipped a little bit to get the cars off the line. Down towards the first corner. Just a reminder of the front of the grid. Florian Latour, by far the quickest driver yesterday, but rather too quick off the line. The 10-second penalty at the end of the race pushed them down to 4th. Lo Kelo for Toro Racing, and then Team Shanghai Hyundai's Chris van der Drift, and Porsche Holdings Martin Ragginger, Nazim Asman, and then pole position for Pro-Am Bajinlong for Zhangteng Auto. And in the top 10 for Eric Kwong, Paul Sitter, Kitty World Racing, the number 23, the pink and black, in 8th position for that number 23 car, and on pole. Beautiful conditions here, temperatures rising all the time, and that will have been a real challenge for the Michelin tyre technicians, trying to get the starting pressures right. How hot is this tarmac going to get? We saw 51, 52 Celsius in practice and qualifying earlier in this meeting. It was much colder than that towards the end of the race yesterday evening. There you can see where the new tarmac starts. That's from in between turn 6 and 7 all the way to the exit of turn 13. Now, it held up pretty well yesterday, but that was in much cooler conditions, so how will it perform today? It's very smooth and it's very dark in colour compared to the rest of the track, so it does heat up rather quicker. So the temperatures, the track temperatures we're talking about, will vary depending on the surface of the track itself, and again that will affect how much grip there is. Now someone has dropped it on the opening lap, and that's Wu Jiaxin, R&B Racing, the dark grey car. Does a quick flick turn. Now, he was at the back anyway, so he doesn't lose any positions. That might just delay the start a moment or two, because our medical car was in behind there. The leaders are already on the back straight underneath the south grandstand, and Wu is, I think he dropped that coming out of turn 12, maybe turn 11, so he's got a little bit of ground to make up. Off to driver's right, facing the wrong direction as he was trying to warm up his Michelin tyres, and again that was on the new part of the tarmac, so that'll just tell you how potentially slippery it can be when the temperatures rise. Leaders coming round onto the grid. It is a grid start, a clutch start. Jiaxin is on the back straight at the moment, so actually it's not that far behind. Florian Latour then for Maidong Racing in the blue, mostly blue 992 Cup car, leads 21 starters onto the grid for the second round of the 2023 championship. Sepang, which has such a place in the history of this championship, 20th year this year of Carrera Cup Asia, and this is where it all started. And once again, Latour has staged, in drag racing terms, very deeply. He's not quite up to his starting position, also slightly positioned to his left, trying to, and pointing to the left, trying to cut off the opportunity for Lokelo to sweep round the outside as he did yesterday. Green flag at the back of the grid. We are ready for round 2, 2023. The red lights are on, the clutches have been dropped, and we're racing for 30 minutes or 13 laps. Much better getaway by the pole sitter this time. And immediately Lokelo dives in behind Florian Latour in the blue and black Porsche. Now he comes to the outside. The Toro car, the chrome red and grey machine. Oh, the leader's gone a little bit wide. Here comes Lokello round the outside. He's done it again, you know. He's done it again. This time round the outside of turn number 2. Yesterday it was round the outside of turn number 1. Magnificent stuff for last year's championship runner-up, as Eric Kwong in the AM category has another awful start. He was in pole position for the AMs inside the top 10. He's all the way down to the back of the field in the 23 Kiddie World car, not getting his confidence on the brakes at all. From what we saw yesterday, we thought that was an issue with his tyres. He was on the slick, he was on the wets yesterday, but it looks as though he's still struggling. Maybe they were still a little bit cold. He'll try and fight his way back through the field, but at the front it is Latour in second position. Once again, he'll know every single rivet, screw and letter on the back of Lokello's car. He's followed it quite a bit this weekend. Let's see if he can do the overtake as he did yesterday down into 14. Coming down into turn 14 now, he sweeps across to the right-hand side of the track, tries to get the cut back on the leader, but can't do it. Shanghai Yonder in third place is Chris van der Drift, and looks like the R&B Racing number 25 car, Zhu Jiao, has also had a spin, but she has recovered the track surface as well. End of that one then. And once again, the leading pair have pulled away just a little bit. Lokello, the Toro, by 0.3 of a second at the front of the field. And in second place, the poleman, Florian Latour. And another spinner coming out of turn number 15, the final corner. Now, was that Boujazin again? I think it might have been, you know. Hasn't yet crossed the line for R&B Racing, so both of the R&B Racing cars with incidents on the first lap for Zhu Jiao and Boujazin. It's not bothering the drivers at the front. So from the start, an absolutely perfect getaway from the pole sitter. Now at the back of the field, there was a very slow getaway indeed. I think that was Adrian De Silva. And it was indeed in the blue-fronted and zebra stripe car, the EBM Giga Racing. Meantime, Boujazin is now pointing in the right direction, but is way off the back of the field. Leaders coming through to turn 12, he's coming down to turn 1. Toro Racing's Lokello for the number 99. Very distinctive colour scheme on the Toro cars. One of the few actually who've held the same colourway from last year. Hangzhou, the hometown of Lokello. Second in the championship last year, won the Chinese Endurance Championship and won the GT4 race at the Macau Grand Prix last year. So I think we can say it was a pretty successful 2022 for our leader Lokello. The second of the Toro Racing cars is Eric Zhang, who's just lost a place to Shobi Wong in that very yellow number 2 machine for Porsche Beijing Central and Golden Port. That was the battle for 8th and 9th position, but more importantly for them, for their championship aspirations, for the second place in Pro-Am. Pro-Am still led in 6th position overall by the chrome red and white number 718 of Bao Jinlong. Adrian De Silva, having got going, has caught up with the back of the pack, and he's got Eric Kwong not too far ahead of him. He's recovering as well as Kwong goes down the inside of the orange and black Nazim Azman driven car. Actually, that wasn't Nazim, was it? He's further up the field. But this is a good fight back by Eric Kwong. He's already got past John Shen. And I think that was Li Chao, actually, that he's just passed. Yes, it is. Another one of the orange cars. Number 9. That's the early part of the lap. So the leaders are coming across the line to complete lap 3. This time around, turning left-handed into the final corner, cambered very steeply away from the apex. Very unusual that it's trying to pull the car away from where you want it to be. Okello, Latour, Van der Drift, the number 8, the blue and white car, then Martin Ragging, and just dropping back for a moment into that perhaps potential grip of Nazim Azman, only half a second or so behind than Bao Jinlong. Much better race for him today. Of course, Hong Shenzhe, who was penalised 10 places for that contact at the end of the race yesterday, can't give, I said it yesterday, you can't give Bao Jinlong those positions back, so he is fighting a little bit of catch-up. Huge battle down at turn 1, and Adrian De Silva goes through, and is that a problem for Li Chao in the Team Better Life Porsche? He's not up to speed. That's unusual for Li Chao. He's normally right amongst it. Team Better Life, one of the teams we've spoken about a lot. 7th in Pro-Am last year for Li Chao. 5th in 2021 in the Pro-Am Championship. And another driver who's had GT4 success at Macau. That was back in 2021. A bit of what was then called Blancpain racing as well. But there's been a staple of the Porsche Carrera Cup Series here in Asia going back as far as 2013. The front of the field, look below. Is he just controlling things at the moment? Looks good. Just holding around about a half a second or so gap as he crosses the line with Florian Latour in second. 7/10 this time around, so 3/4 of a second between first and second. Good to have Florian Latour here. Super Cup driver going back to 2018 and Carrera Cup France. A couple of seconds, couple of thirds in his home Carrera Cup championship for Latour in the last 4 or 5 years. Was at Sebring last year for the WEC for the 1000k. Came second in class and won Zolder last year as well, the 24-hour race at Zolder. So knows his way around GT cars. Further back down the field. Nice little battle shaping up between the BD group number 22. And that's Yang Ryu, 11th position. 21 ahead is Francis Chia for Trans-China Automotive Racing. They're battling over 10th and 11th position. Let's pick up some of the class leaders. Bao Jinlong, we've talked about, still in 6th position in the 17. And that number 22 car that we were just mentioning is the best of the ARM drivers, Yang Raoult. After that spin early on, of course, for Eric Kwong, who's working his way back up through the AM category. In fact, he's back up to 3rd position, 14th overall, 3rd in the AM category. Still. Oh, now track limits warnings beginning to come in as well for the Pro-Am leader, Bajin Long, the 718. And that was down at turn 6 through the S's. There is time to be made up there if you are brave. That is one of the places where race control are going to be watching for obvious reasons. So quick down there, so committed. Nice little gaggle of cars on the back straight at the moment. Toro Racing's Eric Zangby just pulling out. Number 16 is John Shen. He's got Christian Chia, Open Road Racing behind him. And who lists his home as Canada. That was a Toro Racing car behind him there. So is that Eric Zhang who's dropped all the way back? I think it must be. Check that as they go across the line this time around. To Silva in that distinctive blue and zebra striped car. After almost stalling on the grid, has fought his way up to 15th. Front of the field. Who has got tyre performance left for the second half of the race? Start is under investigation, hearing from race control. Now, don't read too much into that. That is fairly standard. Martin bagging out with Nazim Azman right behind him. Sima Dabu Racing Team car. The two mainly red machines cross the line now. Luke Hilo back down to half a second from Leto. Vanderdrift rather lonely 3rd at the moment. Then the battle for 4th. Braginger and Azman. Gao Yujie up into 6th ahead of our Pro-Am leader Bajin Long in 7th. Eric Zhang still there in 9th, so he hasn't dropped down through the field. Then Francis Chia making up the top 10. Bajin Long, beautiful finish on that car with that chrome red and white. All the cars actually are supplied in what's called GT silver. So most of what you're seeing on these cars, if you see a little bit of silver grey, that could well be the original paintwork, but most of what you see, Team Jebsen, blue and white car, for example, the 55, it won't actually be paint. Gao Yujie and Team Jebsen, almost certainly that'll be a wrap or some aero style paint, and that does give the opportunity for the teams to go a little bit more creatively with their liveries. Looks like Gao Yujie just pulling away from Bajin Long, having made the pass a moment or two ago. But remember, Bao in that number 718, I suppose we should say 718, shouldn't we, as this is a Porsche race, he's still leading the Pro-Am category. Gao Yujie for Team Jebsen. A team that we've seen for a number of years in this championship. One of the stalwarts. Gao, who lives in Shanghai, likes a bit of cycling and swimming apart from racing Porsches. 12th overall in the championship last year. Won the Rotax Challenge China kart event, kart championship last year. And came second at the national finals in Italy for KZ at Garda. What a track that is as well, by the way, for karting. Fairly traditional upbringing in motorsport, at least early on with his karts. Not then usual to jump into a Porsche Cup car. So learning his trade still very much. Martin Ragginger still with Nazim Azman for company. The red and black car from the mostly red car. Out on the far side of the circuit, coming to turn 7 and 8 now. That tricky double right-hander. Blue and white car ahead is Chris van der Drift, who's got about 2.5 seconds to the lead battle, and then about the same to this battle for 4th and 5th. Martin Ragginger back in the championship this year, thanks to it opening up again. And great to see that we are truly a Trans-Pacific championship again. Martin, who has a huge history in this championship, 5th overall in 15, 2nd in 17, 3rd in 18, 2nd in 19, came 4th in the 24 hours of Nürburgring. Saw him with that race in 2021. I've seen him at the 24 hours of Daytona, at Dubai as well, at the early part of the year. Martin, very good on the Nordschleife, so this is a slightly different challenge. But he has had success at this circuit before. Indeed, the last time he was here, he won all 3 of the races. And a spin in that battle, and that's Nazim Azman. Just looped it, tried a little bit too hard, and he's lost a position to Gao Yujie. Team Jebsen blue and white car went through there. The red, white, black machine. Now I wonder if this is the heat, going through the track into the Michelin tyres. Coming down to turn 1, he's slightly offline, trying to go around the outside of Ragginger in the black and red Porsche. Yeah, maybe just on the dirty part of the track. Very quickly got the car pointing in the right direction, but has dropped from 5th to 7th position. Check that, 5th to 6th position behind Gao Yujie, with Bao Jinlong just lurking there as well. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on Nazim and see if his back tyres are holding up. 14th position for Z Speed Motorsport, the distinctive orange and white car for Li Xuanyu. Having again another lonely race. Down in 18th position when he crossed the line last time around, and at 188, just heading up through turn 9 into turn 10 at the moment. Well, it's taken no time at all for Nazim Azman to regain his composure, and he's caught up with Gao Yujie, who went through as Nazim was pointing in the wrong direction at turn 1 last time around. They're at the scene of the crime again, down to turn 1, right-hander. Very tricky, you turn into turn 1, there's a second apex and the track falls away. He's the outside move in turn 2 from the red, white and black car of Nazim Azman. The Team Jebsen blue and white number 55. Too wily for that, and immediately defends to the right-hand side of the track, trying to force the number 17 of Nazim Azman around the outside. Well, Nazim's going to take that challenge. He'll be on the inside for turn 5. Can't quite get it in. Almost a touch there. Bao Xinlong joins the party in the 718, the chrome red and white car. Glistening in the sunshine here. What a beautiful day. This afternoon is absolutely glorious. 3-car battle then, 5th, 6th and 7th. Gao Yuzhe, Nazim Azman and Bao Xinlong for Jemson Simmons Derby Racing Team and Jingtong Auto. Looks like Bao Xinlong, our Pro-Am lead, has got a new lease of life. He dropped back a little bit after he'd been passed by Gao Yuzhe earlier. Still 4 laps to go at the end of this one, and this is where those drivers who have been a bit canny, been a bit clever and saved some performance in their Michelin tyres, this is where they will see the benefit of this. The gap at the front, by the way, is 1 second between first and second. This is the closest battle on the circuit. Interesting that Bao Xinlong pulls out. Oh, big lock up for the Team Jemson car. Gao Yuzhe is going straight on, almost into the pit lane entry there, and loses 1 position, may lose 2. Azman's gone through. Bao Xinlong dropped the slipstream there, maybe trying to get a bit of cooling air onto the front of his car. His team will be letting him know that there's now only 3 further laps to go around this 5.5 kilometre, 3.5 mile. There's a touch there. This could get very nasty indeed. The Jemson car on the inside and playing a little bit of bar billiards there with the 2 red Porsches to his left-hand side. So Gao Yuzhe into Nazim Azman into Bao Xinlong. Bao Xinlong, I think his car's got a Porsche magnet in it. Twice yesterday he had contact, not of his own making, and there's another one today. Oh, marvellous stuff by these 3 drivers, all in the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th, and it is the Pro-Am leader on the back of that, remember. So Bao Xinlong really doesn't need to be in this battle other than for pride and for overall positions. He'll get exactly the same number of points in Pro-Am if he finishes where he is or he overtakes the 2 cars ahead. However, I'd say he's probably having far too much fun at the moment to talk him out of that. At the front of the field, Lokelo, Kylo, Florian Latorre still about a second apart. Chris van der Drift just put his fastest lap of the race in and taking a wee bit of time out of the leaders, but this is where the action is at the moment. Martin Ragginger, who was part of this halfway through the race, he's cleared off a little bit. He was having that battle with Nazim Azman before Nazim spun down at turn 1, remember. Leaders have crossed the line. Waiting for Martin to go through now as this battle behind him comes to the final left-handed corner underneath the grandstand, and again a mistake on the final corner, and again Gao Yuzhe is the one that loses out. Got to think he's overcooked the Michelin tyres a little bit. Bao Xinlong throws the big expansive move to the right-hand side down at the first corner, maybe just trying to get the Jemson driver ahead of him to move offline. Bao Xinlong still leading Pro-Am, and it's still the number 22, Yang Rahu, who for BT Group is in 11th position, leading the Am category. Now who's he got for company? Well, actually he's got Eric Kwong, who's 4 back up to 2nd after being right at the back, but Hung Shenzhe is between those 2 at the moment, and he's a Pro-Am driver. So the white and pink BT Group car, the Absolute Racing Run cars in the field. That is your AM leader at the moment. Now behind. Oh, actually, I think Hunt's gone through. Now that could be key. I think that was the 83 ahead of him there. No. Still behind the red, white and blue car. He at the moment is acting as backstop to the 22, unwittingly, of course. Hongshide, Team C and D with that 10-place grid penalty. That's why that pro car is so far down the field. But what a comeback drive from Eric Kwong. Kitty World Racing. He is 7 seconds away. But will take, at the moment, some good points. Pro-Am leader Bajin Long through the final corner. The leaders have started their last lap. And Lokelo with a warning for track limits. He's on his last lap. That was coming out of turn 14, running onto the back straight, just running wide there. And where's the tour gone? It was just a second or thereabouts. Now, has the tour hit some trouble at the end of the race? He has. And Chris van der Drift, I did say that Chris had put his fastest lap in last time around. Team Shanghai Yonder car is coming back at second place. Martin Ragging is still in fourth. He's 7 seconds further back. Surely Chris van der Drift can't close that gap. It was only a second at the line. Latour is struggling. He's struggling for grip. Just what we talked about. An element of tyre management, I said at the start of the race. The leaders are halfway around the final lap. Lo Kailo with a handy margin, but the battle for second and third is by no means over. Very careful exit from turn 14 onto the back straight by Chris van der Drift. Mujahideen R&B Racing is ahead of the leader, but I think will just stay on the lead lap, so he'll go through to start it now. There's the checkered flag for round two. And Lo Kailo wins it by 2.3 seconds. Florian Latour fending off Chris van der Drift for second and third. Van der Drift coming on very strongly. Took 0.7 of a second out of Florian Latour on the last lap alone. And ends up under half a second away from second spot on the box. Raginger 8 seconds further back. Then Nazim Asman recovering to 5th position. Gao Yujie in 6th for Team Jebsen. 7th is our Pro-Am winner, Bajin Long, the 718. And I think Mujahideen, oh, where's Mujahideen? Has dropped down right at the very end. He was sitting in 11th, but a couple of cars have gone through, including Eric Kwong. Eric Kwong has nicked the AM victory on the final lap. So what happened to the R&B Racing number 5 car? He'd been comfortably leading as Eric Kwong was fighting back. Now, Wu has dropped down even further. Adrian de Silva also scored ahead of him now. And Christian Chia. Showing as finished, but well, now apologies, that's my fault. Mujahideen, of course, was right at the back and got lapped. Was getting lapped, wasn't he? My apologies. I've scared everybody. In 10th position is our AM leader, Yang Ra'u. So he made up the position at the end, got ahead of Francis Chia actually, and put Francis and Hong should say, between himself and Eric Kwong. Too excited about somebody dropping down the timing and scoring monitor. However, I do reckon that was a bit of a star drive from Eric Kwong, who got back up into second after having an absolute nightmare at the start of that race. Right, they'll head back into the pit lane. Let's just quickly confirm the results for Toro Racing from Florian Latour, who just held off Chris van der Drift in third. In the classes, Bajin Long, well inside the top 10 at 7, will take Pro Am. And despite me scaring everybody down at BD Group, 10th position and the Am victory to the number 22. That is Yang Ro-U. So it's a delightful double in the opening event of the season. And another top scoring points. Fastest lap of the Pro race. Looks like it went to second place driver Florian Latour. That's 2 fastest laps in 2 seconds. Second and a fourth for him. 2 poles, 2 fastest laps in a fourth. All right, let's just put some meat on the bones there. Top 6 all Pro drivers. Dan Tagage Dujé in 6th position. Luc Kailo, Florian Latour, Chris van der Drift on the podium. Great battle between Nazim Asmangayuje and Bajin Long, who finishes 7th and wins Pro Am. In 10th position, it's Yang Ro-U. And that is the Am leader ahead of Eric Kwong, second in Am. And also coming up from the back, Z Speed Motorsport in the orange and white number 188, Li Shen-Yu. So we get to hear once again from a double winning driver. Great start to the season for Toro and for Lo Kai Lo.
Luo Kai is with me, looking absolutely exhausted and elated at the same time. What a weekend it's been. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I like it. I very enjoy this race. In the start, I did a good start and passed Florian in the start. And I control very well in the race, and my pace is pretty good. I didn't push. I'm very safe in the driving and didn't push a lot. So, yeah, I like it.
Take us through how you got past him.
Yeah, just he did a bad start, and just I have a good exit on the turn 2, so I can pass him on turn 5. Yeah, same as last round. Yeah.
In the end, 2.3 seconds was the gap between you and Florian, so it seems like you were pulling away.
Yes, a little bit, but I think I can improve a little bit because I think my braking still can improve a little bit. Yeah, let's see what happens in Korea.
Been a pleasure to watch you. We look forward to Korea. Well done.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, similar overtaking manoeuvre to get the lead as he did at the start yesterday, except rather than being on the outside at turn 1 and converting at turn 2 into turn 3, this time he couldn't do that. He'd been blocked off, so he had to go around the outside of the left-hander at turn 2. That's really hard. It falls away there. That put him on the inside for turn 3, 4, and finally got it all done and dusted at turn number 5. Bajin Long inside the top 10 at 7 wins Pro Am for Zhengtong Auto.
Bajin Long also looks elated and somewhat tired, though. Does this make up for yesterday?
Yes. Finally, I finished the race and I won the class.
And you seem to be pushing the pros all the time. You were in touch with them all the time, the pros.
Yes, yeah, that's my target. Yes, I have a chance because yesterday the accident have some problem with the car, I think. So next race we see.
Look forward to Korea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.
And just as yesterday, our driver, class winner, also inside the top 10, BD Group, will be celebrating tonight, both here and back at their base at Shanghai Autodrome. It's the number 22 that takes the 25 points. Wow. Yang Rau. Steve just working his way back to Yang now.
Yang Ruoyu is with me, our amateur winner. How are you feeling?
Yeah, what a race. It's really struggle, but I had a really great start. So kept moving my position. And then some car got crashed, so I got the opportunity to get the top. Yeah, what a race. But I say, I'll be back today. Yeah, I made my promise. Yeah.
Enjoy the champagne.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yang Rau taking the top step of the podium. We'll have the formalities for you in a wee while with Sammy. So round 2 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia for 2023. Warm weather, hot on the track. Tyre wear and tyre management would play a part. Adrian De Silva with an awful start right at the back of the grid. He fought his way back up to 15th position by the end of the race. But at the other end of the field, great start by Florian Latour, and he timed it right today, the pole sitter, but went a tiny bit wide in the second part of turn 1, round the outside of turn 2. Look, proving that the laws of physics are rather more selective than we thought. Spin earlier on in the race for the number 25, Chu Chiao. But once again, the camera's focused at the front of the field where the action was. But today, Florian Latour could not put a move on Lo Kai Lo, and the Toro racing car stretched off into the distance. What a difference. Well, I was going to say 24 hours, a bit less than that. What a difference that made to Bao Jinlong. Top 10 finish for him and a class win. Great battle between Martin Raginger and Nazim Asman. Finished with Nazim pointing in the wrong direction when he went a little bit wide. That dropped him into the clutches of Gao Yujie and Bao Jinlong. And for a moment, we had 3 across the track as the Team Jebsen driver, Gao Yujie, was fighting a rear guard action. Wu Jiazin was lapped right at the end and finished down in 20th. Li Chao didn't get to the end, but Lo Kai Lo did. And Toro Racing have a double this weekend for Lo Kai Lo. Second place for Florian Latour, backs up his 4th from yesterday. He got the fastest lap again in Pro today. Chris van der Drift finishes on the podium for Team Shanghai Hyundai. In the classes, Bao Jinlong finished 7th and wins Pro Am. And the Am winner in 10th for Yang Rau. So, brilliant racing again, right the way through the field. And nice to see we had the full run through. Next up, we're off to Korea for rounds 3 and 4, the Korea International Circuit. That is the first weekend of June. End of June, beginning of July to Suzuka for rounds 5 and 6. The Chang International Circuit plays host to 7 and 8, our mid-season, and that is, of course, in the 4th to the 6th of August in Thailand. Back here, it's Sepang for rounds 9 and 10 at the end of August, supporting FIA Formula One Grand Prix at Singapore and the Marina Bay Circuit for rounds 11 and 12 in the middle of September. And then at the end of October, very nice, on my birthday weekend, it's rounds 13 and 14, finishing off in style at Shanghai International Circuit. And that is the 20th season of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. Now, those points that have been garnered here, very important for our class leaders because all three of the class leaders at the end of today, and we certainly know that Laure Gaillot will be one of them, having won both races, are off to France straight after that early June round, which is the test weekend. Straight after that, they're heading to Europe. They'll go to the Porsche Museum, which is a fabulous trip on its own, fabulous building as well, that particular museum, and all kinds of racing and road cars celebrating the 75-year history of Porsche there. Then they'll pick up some Porsche classic road cars. Now, who gets first pick? 9932S? Oh, yes, yeah, I've got one of those. I'll join in on that. That's very nice. 968 Club Sport, maybe. You go for something more exotic. And then our class leaders will take those classic Porsche road cars and drive them from the middle of Germany across to France and to the Circuit de la Sarthe, as they'll have VIP access to the Le Mans 24 Hours. And not just any Le Mans 24 Hours, that would be special enough. But of course, it's the 100th anniversary of the classic 24-hour race. That's what they have in front of them. Let's head to the celebrations with Sammy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podium presentation for round 2 of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2023 in Sepang. So now I would like to firstly invite the winners of round 2 for the M class. So on the 3rd place, we have driver number 188. We have Li Xuanyu from Z Speed Motorsport. Make some noise. And on 2nd place, we have driver number 23, we have Eric Kwong from Kitty World Racing. Oh yeah, little buddy on stage as well. And of course, we have our champion of the M class. We have driver number 22, Yang Ruoyu from BD Group. And now it is my pleasure to invite the CEO of Sime Darby Auto Performance, Mr. Christopher Hunter, to present the trophy to our winners. First, we will present the winner trophy. Let's make some noise. Woo! Next on, let's present it to our 2nd place trophy. And last but not least, the 3rd place trophy. All right, now I would like to invite Mr. Christopher to join our winners on the stage for a group photo. So everyone, let's gather on the champion spot. All right, let's look in front of the cameras. Big smiles! All right, thank you again, Mr. Christopher. Congratulations to our winners. Now, it is time for champagne. Little kid running very fast away from his daddy. Celebration time! All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations again to our M-Class winners.
Well, no need to worry about the champagne on the overalls there. They're not needed again this weekend. Well done to Eric Kwong in 2nd place as well. Finally gets his season off and running after an unhappy race yesterday. He didn't get along with the wets as the track dried up.
All right, so next one we will announce the winners for the Pro M class. Let us welcome on 3rd place, we have number 77, Eric Zhang from Toro Racing. Woo! And on 2nd place, we have driver number 2, Joby Huang from Porsche Beijing Central and Golden Port. And of course, after a fierce battle, we have the champion of the Pro M class. We have number 718, Bao Jinlong from Zhengtong Auto. invite the Vice President Marketing, Mr. Sky Chow, to present the trophies to our winners. Let's make some noise as we present the trophy to the winner, Bao Jinlong. Next, let's present the second place trophy to Joby Wang. And last but not least, to our third place, we have Eric Zhang. Now let's have Mr. Sky Chow to join all of our winners for the Pro M class for a group photo. All right, let's look in front to the camera. Big smile. Let's cheer for our winners for Pro M class once again. All right, 奖杯举起来. Let's have the trophy up high. All right, with that, thank you so much, Mr. Sky Chow, for presenting the award. Let's get ready for some champagne shower.
Well, it appears that all the hard work in the Middle East and Europe for Jumpy Wong, where he's been testing his car before the start of the season, has paid off with that second position. Good points for him for the Pro Am Championship. What a weekend for Bao Jinlong. 0 to hero. Not his fault yesterday. Twice he was knocked off the track and comes back strongly today. That leaves the Pro category at the front of the field. Just reset the podium before we get Chris van der Triff, Florian Lato, and got to be man of the weekend, Lo Kai Lo, the Toro Racing. Two outstanding overtaking manoeuvres, 2 victories, and the lead of the championship after our opening pair of rounds here at Sepang.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, now is the podium presentation for the overall class. On the third place, we have number 8, Chris van der Triff from Team Shanghai Yongda. And on the second place, finally, we see him on the first time on the podium. We have number 11, Florian Latour from Mado Racing. And of course, we have our champion of the overall class, number 99, Lo Kai Lo from Toro Racing. And of course, the dealer trophy winner is obviously Toro Racing. So allow me to invite our award presenter. First, I would like to invite the Vice President and CFO, Ms. Shen Kanhashta, to firstly present the awards to our 3 winners. All right, first with the winner trophy to Lo Kai Lo. And the second place trophy to Florian Lato. And last but not least, the third place trophy to Chris van der Triff. Thank you, Ms. Shen. Please join us at the podium. And I would like to invite manager of One Mix Series and GT Sport of Porsche Motorsport Sales and Region, so Mr. Oliver Kuppen, to present the dealer trophy to Toro Racing. All right, let's have Mr. Oliver to join us on stage as well, so that we have a group photo. It's gonna be a little bit crowded, but we're gonna do this right. So let's have our trophies rise up high and get ready for cameras. Let's cheer for our winners for overall class. All right, with that, thank you everyone. Thank you, Mr. Oliver. Thank you, Ms. Shen. It is almost time for our champagne shower.
So as the champagne is sprayed for our overall victor, Lo Kai Lo, he'll lead the championship as we leave Sepang and move on to the next round. And you can see it live here. For all the details, go to Porsche new website, CarreraCupAsia.com.
We will see you again at the press conference later.
Thank you to Sammy and Steve, to our camera operators here at the circuit, and everyone who's worked so hard to bring you our live broadcast. I'm John Hindhaugh. Thanks for being with us. Next 2 rounds coming up, and the rest of the season, is it going to be like that? I hope so. What a cracking way to kick things off here at Sepang. See you for the next one. Bye-bye.
Lights on. It's time again. "20 years. We create dream cars, generation after generation. We push ourselves beyond all limits. We take victories and write history.
What a great championship.
Together, we go even further. Are you ready? Bring it home. It's dreams that have fueled us across 2 decades.
Sliding through that mark. Brilliant racing.
It's dreams that have inspired us, empowered us, and driven us to the next level. This is Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, driven by dreams. 2023 starts now.